What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Michigan Great Outdoors. Today we're going to look at the Hunt Arsenal RZR platform. We're in the man cave. Mosquitoes are carrying me away outside, so we're going to do this video in here today, but let's get stuck in. Alright, so here it is, the Hunt Arsenal RZR. Now, I've had this platform ever since I bought it at the Mobile Hunter Expo. It's been about a month, and I wanted to take my time with it. I wanted to put it on some trees. I wanted to really test it out because it is a very radical design. I've made several videos kind of highlighting the Hunt Arsenal equipment, and this is the one that we're really going to just take a look at this platform in entirety right now. So this is a 2.3 pound platform. The MSRP on it is $289. Now, I did get a 15% off, so it was like 240 something bucks. I'm not that quick at math, but I got it for under $250. So for me, that was a pretty solid price to be able to get this platform under $250 and to get something that's this lightweight. And it's really an incredible looking specimen. You know, first thing that kind of jumps out when you see this platform is just the machining. The machining is absolutely gorgeous. This platform here is made from 70-75 aluminum, so it's a step up from that 60-61 that we're used to. It's T6, whatever that means. But it is a really beautiful anodized finish. It's a bourbon bronze finish. And the platform looks really nice. You know, it's very aesthetic. The packaging is incredible. When you open up the box, it's got really nice packaging. But the bottom line is, how does it perform on the tree? You know, we want gear that looks cool, but we want gear that functions. And that's what we're going to get into in this video after we cover a couple other aspects of this platform. Now, it is made in China. It's designed in Michigan, you know, designed in the United States, but it's said that it's precision manufactured in China. A lot of people are kind of balking at that $289 price because it is made in China. But if you look at this platform and you look at the details that's gone into it, there is a lot of labor into building this. So usual platforms that are machined out of aluminum, they're machined on one side. So they'll put it in a jig and they'll cut the pattern out or whatever they do, and then they'll do the milling. This platform here, because of the detail on it with the traction on this side, as well as the beveled edges on this side, that means that an operator, he's going to have to flip that platform in the jig. So he's going to have to take it out, he's going to re-put it in the jig, and then he's probably going to have to take some measurements, he's going to do some stuff. So this platform looks like it's at minimum double machined or maybe even triple machined. The other thing that I believe kind of, you know, pushes this price up is there's a lot of assembly that goes into this. If you look at this platform, it has 4 bolts on the bottom, which is attaching to these pieces here that holds a little bit of an axle into this post. You have another bolt here for the axle, the pivot point here. You have a molly hook on the back here, which has 2 little screws that go into it. You have the adjustment screw for the platform pitch. If you look at the bursa button, there's a bolt. You also have a bolt up here for the mechanism that gets this, the tree talons, they were calling it. I heard somebody at Hunt Arsenal call it the tree talons. It gets this bracket to flip. There's also some spring-loaded clips in here. They feel like a heavy, high-grade plastic. So, you know, that mechanism has to be put together, as well as the Durabraid rope attachment method here. So if you look at the price and you go, well, you know, $289 is a lot of money, there's a lot going on here. And if you think of it from a manufacturing aspect, you kind of make sense. You look at all the details. Why would something, you know, made in China cost so much? Well, I just told you, there's a lot of labor that goes into building something like this. And honestly, if I look at that price and compare it to like the Latitude Rebel platform, which would be like a pretty close comparison, you know, that platform's 300 bucks. This is 289, so it's still coming in a little bit cheaper. So one of the unique things about this platform is obviously it folds flat, completely flat. There is a mechanism up here that will fold down. It does make a little bit of noise, so if you want to do it quietly, you gotta kind of go slow with it, and it can be completely silent. There is a little bit of a little rattle there, I noticed. So if you're moving this around to hang it, there can be some noise there. I think it's just inevitable. You're gonna have a little bit of noise. There's two little plastic clips here that kind of hold this thing into place. And right now, you can just grab it and flip it down. And they're, I don't know, there seem to be like a high grade plastic. I'm not sure what kind they are, but I had noticed, you know, when I first got this platform, I was just kind of sitting there and like, you know, like a kid, I was just playing with it for a while, just flipping it back and forth. And I did notice that these little clips have a little bit of wear in them already. So that's definitely something to kind of keep an eye on. I don't know what that's going to mean for long term, but there is a little bit of wear on the inside edge of these clips. Now, this platform, it's going to have more moving parts. In order for this thing to fold down so flat, you're going to have more moving parts. The nicest part about this platform, obviously, is because it's so flat, you can literally put it in a bag. So I bought the Kuiu, the new Venture backpack. It fits in all three of the pockets. You can actually take the larger platform, the RZR Magnum, and put it in the big pocket on that backpack as well. So very versatile for packing in. You no longer have to have this on the outside of your pack. You can just slip it down into a backpack, which is honestly really cool. The fact that there's no big tree bracket here is a really cool feature. It also has this built-in molly hook. It works really well. It's a very solid piece of metal and it's a great function. There is an adjustment screw on the bottom of this post here. You can adjust your pitch up and down. I do kind of, you know, you really kind of have to move the platform to get it. It's, you know, I got big fat fingers. It's a little bit hard to get to, and it feels like it's a pretty tight bolt in there. So I'm not exactly sure in a cold situation or if it kind of gets icy and freezed up how easy it's going to be to turn that. Obviously you can completely fold this up and it's a lot easier, but if you're trying to do it on the tree, I just found compared to other platforms that it was just a little bit harder to adjust. The attachment method is very unique. It's a 5mm Durabraid rope, they're calling it. This is a little bit bigger than the sticks. The sticks have a 4mm rope, the Hunt Arsenal Icon sticks. It's supposedly some sort of an Amsteel rope that is covered with some sort of the sheath. They don't offer any sort of specifications on their website explaining what this is or the actual tensile strength. You know, it's kind of a concern for me. I'm a bigger guy, I'm 265, so I often wonder, you know, I'm sure it's strong enough, but how strong is it really? One of the complaints that I do have on this is this sewn eye is not protected. I would love to see a protection on here, especially being on the platform where you could potentially, you know, have this on here. It's going around the tree and this could get damaged over time. So I think that's something that I would like to see, some sort of protective cover on here, just like every other tether on the market has some sort of a cover. The attachment method, as far as tying it goes, it's fairly easy. The instructions that come with this platform are very, very, you know, concise. It's very easy to read. You do kind of have to practice it a little bit. Once you kind of get it down, it's very easy, it's very repeatable. The only kind of drawback I guess I could say is that, you know, you really want to, when you're doing this, you want to have the platform pitched up just for proper setting, and it does get a little tight in there. You can kind of pull it down a little bit and cheat if you want, but I found that the best way to do it is have this platform as high as possible and you know, lace it through. It's not exactly perfect, but it does work. Now, I asked Hunt Arsenal at the Mobile Hunter Expo if I could run this with a cam strap. They said that you are allowed to do that, but they don't recommend it. They recommend to use their attachment method. So I did put a cam strap on it, and honestly I felt like it worked fine with the cam strap. No issues there at all. I really like that this platform is designed to be tow hooked. So once you get your rope attachment on, you get everything cinched down, you pull it down, you kind of lock it in, you're able to tow hook this platform. That's my preferred method of hanging everything, and I really do like that you can do a tow hook on here. Once you put a tow hook on here, for me, this platform has really performed very well. And that's the name of the game. You know, this thing is a beautiful platform. It's got all this nice traction milled here, these little nubs, and it just looks very pretty. But honestly, if it can't help me kill deer, why the hell am I going to use it? It's got to be effective. It's got to be helpful. And, you know, I'm out there to shoot deer. I'm not out there to look cool in the woods, to play dress up. You know, I'm out there to get it done. I think that this platform is going to work great on hard bark trees. So I've had it on several different trees, a lot of oak trees in my yard. I had it on a maple tree. It performed flawlessly on all those trees with side pressure. Any kind of pressure that I put on it, it really bit in the tree well. Now on soft bark trees, it didn't perform that well. And I honestly have a tendency for, you know, a lot of platforms really don't perform that great on soft bark trees unless you really set them hard. You know, if I put a bunch of side pressure on this and, you know, some shit trees in my yard, it really kind of breaks loose. These teeth maybe just need to be a little bit longer for those types of trees. But is that like the end of the world for me? No. I mean, how I saddle hunt typically, most of the time I'm hunting out of my 0.5 tree stand, but I do like to saddle hunt in sometimes in, you know, depending if I'm going really deep. When I was hunting the hills of Ohio, I predominantly saddle hunted just because I wanted to cut some of that weight out walking those crazy hills. And I usually seek out hard bark maples, oak trees. You know, I don't want to be that guy to say, well, you got to pick a certain tree. But for me personally, there's enough trees in the woods where I can usually find a hard bark tree and it's going to work just fine. Now, would I hunt out of a soft bark tree with this? Absolutely. If there was only one tree that was the tree I had to be in, I would hunt out of it. I just probably wouldn't try to lean off this platform too hard. And again, I think it's because the teeth are just a little bit smaller, and when you're in that soft bark, there's just not a deep enough bite in my experience. Maybe some other guys are having different experiences, but I like to test these platforms on multiple different trees. I like to really put them through every scenario that I could see potentially in the woods. And yeah, I was able to kick this out several times on soft bark trees. So one of the best parts about this platform is the weight. It's coming in at 2.3 pounds. This is what I would consider a standard size platform. It's very similar to like a tethered Predator or a Latitude Rebel. The Custom Gear Fix is quite a bit bigger than this, but I would consider this like a standard size platform. 2.3 pounds with the attachment method, that is extremely light. That is lighter than the X-Wing without the attachment method. So this is a very lightweight platform. It's very slim, streamlined. You're gonna be able to put it in your bag like I've said. And so if you're really looking for a platform that's going to kind of fit that bill, lightweight, comes with an attachment method, extreme packability, this is truly an innovative product. Obviously the machining is gorgeous. I've tested this thing out. I've had it on a bunch of different trees, and as I always do is I'll put a square on it and I'll check to make sure there's no bends or breaks. This thing is absolutely flawless. There has been no issues with this. I've had it on several trees, and it's nice to see a new company come out with something that's robust and that holds up to the rigors of saddle hunting, especially doing a tow hook. You know, tow hooks put a lot of pressure on this platform, and this thing is perfectly fine, totally square, and I'm very happy to see that. Another really cool feature that is on this post here is there's a little rubber nub that's installed, and they install it from the factory obviously, and that nub will hit here. So you kind of, it really deadens that noise. I don't know why it's squeaking, but it really deadens that noise. So it's got a little rubber nub that's installed, so you don't have to stealth strip this thing. This thing is ready to go. It comes with the attachment method. It's really ready to hunt. All right, so negative aspects of this platform. I talked about the traction a little bit. The traction on the platform is awesome. I really like it. It does make a little bit of noise on your boots if you're not careful. If you're kind of sliding your boots across it, you know, obviously these little, I don't know, they're like, I don't know, maybe 1 millimeter, 2 millimeter high. They're gonna hit your rubber on your boots and make a little bit of noise. For me, it's not that big of a deal. I did notice on this outer edge, there appears to be some sort of milling on here to kind of add some traction. The outer edge is pretty slick, that I felt. I was on it and I had some of my, you know, hiking boots on, and they were a little bit wet, and it just felt like it was kind of slick on the edge. Again, you're in a saddle, you're not going to go anywhere if you were to slip, but it's something to think about. The other kind of negative thing that I would probably notate is, you know, we're used to saddle platforms having that tree bracket or that bat wing or antler bracket, whatever you want to call it, and they usually have like 6 points of contact. This only has 2. Now they are extremely effective. Now these two talons, they were calling them, they work extremely well. They bite into the tree really well, especially for me, I'm heavier. But I would love to see, I'd love to see this redone. I'd like to see it actually wider, and maybe they could add like another, you know, another set of teeth. So maybe you could have 4 teeth on here, you know, because this is already a light platform as it is. So maybe if we just made this a little bit wider, added a couple teeth, it would be a little bit more versatile. You'd have a little better luck on leaner trees. Now, when I saddle hunt, I don't hunt leaning trees. I look for a spot that's nice and straight, and you can say that, you know, maybe in your state or where you hunt, you know, you got to pick a leaning tree or whatever, but I don't know why the hell you'd ever want to hunt saddle hunting out of a leaning tree. You always want to at least have the spot where your platform is nice and straight. Now, I did put it on a leaner tree, and it did work okay. It's not something that I would seek out or try to do on the regular. I did try to do it for just proof of concept. It does work, but I don't think it's going to be as effective as a bracket that has multiple points. All right, so in closing, I think that they did a really nice job in this platform. I like the attachment method. I like the grip on the platform. I have had no issues putting this in, I would say 99% of the trees I put it in. It's worked extremely well. The aluminum is very rigid. There is a little bit of flex. I'm 265 pounds. I flex everything, but it handles it really well. And honestly, I don't feel like it flexes any more than, you know, the other machine cut stand out on the market, which is Custom Gear Fix. I didn't feel like it was flexing really any more than that. Kudos to them. I think they did a really nice job. Now, I plan on running this a bunch this deer season. I really want to test it out. I want to try it out and put it through its paces in deer season. I have a plan of how I'm going to pack it up. So I'm going to make a video on how I'm going to pack this into the woods with the Hunt Arsenal sticks. And I'm going to do a couple field reviews coming up this deer season. So if you aren't subscribed, please consider subscribing down below if you're interested in seeing that. If you have any questions, hit me up in the comments. Hopefully this video is helpful for you, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.